let's try that one again. Hello, Sue. How are you doing? You okay? Don't know what I pressed then. Technology is not my strong point at all. How are you today? Have you had a good day? Or are you having a good day, I should say, because it's going to be a bit later there. Earlier, later. Oh my god. I know how time works. Oh, honestly. Just breaking everything. I am destroying all the things that I'm trying to do. There we go. That's what I want. There. I'm a professional. Maybe. Maybe. Hello, Jenny. How are you? You know when you asked if I was ready? The answer is apparently no. Because I can't find things. But, never mind. Where do I normally put this? There, that'll do. There we go. That'll do. That will do. How is everyone today? Is everyone in as good a mood as I am today? I am in a really good mood today, Sue, because they have announced the actual chat's working properly this time. There's a bonus. They have announced the general election. And as I'm very politically minded, I am very, very excited about this. So I cannot wait. And they've announced it for July 4th, which seems a bit serendipitous, to be honest. So I will see you very shortly, Noah. I will see you very, very shortly. So what I would love to know is, what is everybody reading tonight? I am going to hopefully finish Mouse today, which is one of my banned books reads. So I had to stop about halfway, well, 3/4 of the way through, I think it is, yesterday, just because of how heavy it is, and switch to something else. I know, right? We desperately need a new government. But anyway, this isn't a political stream. I'll save that for other videos further down the road, because I have some thoughts. But yeah, so I'm reading Mouse. How far did you get on Immortal Longings yesterday? Out of curiosity. Why is it signing me out of chat? What's it done that for? Fine, we'll just have it as a separate web page then. We'll just do it that way, I guess. Honestly. Shouldn't be allowed near technology. Like, ever. Over there. Put it over there. Yeah, so how, Sue, how, I can't remember the name of the book you're reading, but it was a alligator swamp beast romance, if I remember correctly, that you were reading yesterday. Or am I misremembering that and I've been on some sort of weird rabbit hole wandering ready for September reads? I'm not sure. You keep getting interrupted. Well, what you should do is you should get a big stick, and when someone interrupts you, you bop them with the stick, and then they will stop interrupting you. That says a lot about me, I suspect. Misalignment and murder. Ooh, okay. I've never got into mystery, bizarrely. Oh, it turned out to be SWAT. Okay. That may end up on so in September, Noah and I are doing a I mean, I'll be honest, it's going to be a smut readathon. So I think that may end up being added to the list, to be honest, because was it, and I hate to use this term, inverted commas, was it good smut or not good smut? Just vaguely curious. Because I've read some bad stuff, which is all Noah's fault, and he can't defend himself. All right, okay. Depending on what you mean by that can be an interesting way to go. Why do they put the heart over the chat as well? Just an unrelated thing. That is a really stupid place for it to be. But yeah, I'm reading Mouse. I will probably finish that in this stream, and then I will go back onto my other book, the name of which I cannot remember. Siege of Burning Grass, I think it is. by Premier Mohammed, which is I don't want to call it purple prose because that's normally meant in quite an insulting way, but it feels a bit like purple prose. So we'll see where we go with that one. I need to read that anyway. Right, drag it that way. Alligator 8, okay. Just wanted to double check because that could have meant multiple things. Also, thank you for the tag. I will be doing it for next week because I want to talk about UK libraries, and I've wanted to for a few months now, and it actually gives me an interesting little segue into that. So I might, because I'm off, have a wander and see if I can do a little bit of filming in the next couple of days because I have free time for the next 2 or 3 days. So yeah, there we go. What English, Jenny? From what you've read so far, I know you're only 2 chapters in. How is it? Because I can't remember anything about Immortal Longings, even though I do apparently own it. Because I checked, I have bought this one among everything else that I've bought in the last few months. Also, has everybody got their choice of hydration and potentially snacks? I'm being good. I am avoiding caffeine, as I told my therapist today, and sticking to water. So that's fun. Also, let's see. This is where you find out if I've done things right. Yeah, boy. I can do some things. So it'll be the normal thing. 30 minutes of... Actually, have I set that one up right? Yeah, I have. That's alright then. You eating breakfast? What time is it over there? Actually. Well, that doesn't narrow it down. America's a very big place. Actually. So, it's about 7 o'clock at night here. So, it has done nothing. Today's weather has been what can be best described as English, because it has just not stopped raining all day on the first day of my leave. So, that's been fun. I have not been willing to leave the house because it just hasn't stopped. But, there we go. We're at nearly 10 past. So, what are you having for breakfast? I'm hungry now. What are you having for breakfast? I like breakfast. I skip breakfast so much and I probably shouldn't. Also, why is the chat not appearing on there? I'm on the wrong screen. I won't see the chat appearing there. Ooh, nice. Nice. Oh, I really shouldn't. 11 a.m.'s fine. It's fine. I'd call that breakfast. Every meal should be breakfast. But anyway, that's me getting distracted again. So yeah, I'm reading Mouse. You're intrigued by it. I mentioned it last night. It sounds like it's similar to the Hunger Games where people have put their names into fight until the last one standing for glory. I can't remember why I picked it up. It was probably a cover buy because there is a cover that's really, really nice. And when I looked it up yesterday when you mentioned it, the cover that came up wasn't the one I recognised, so I didn't click on what it was straight away. Although I might have been getting it mixed up with something else, which I think is called Spear Cuts Through Water. Maybe. I don't know why. I just had that cover in my head when you mentioned it, which is just my own denseness, basically. But anyway, with all that said, I am going to start... Well, we're going to see if I can actually start the timer without breaking everything. And see if I can get the music to work. Because that's going to be fun, because... For some reason, I have turned it off. Although, not music, sorry, sound effects. Which we're going for thunderstorms, because UK. So I'm going to start the timer now. Happy reading, everyone. So how is everybody getting on? I think that's why I'm flying through it. I'm too tired to read right now, though. I mean, that's fair. What is it there now? 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish, I think, if memory serves. I don't know. Let's hit that one on. There we go. And pause that. How is everybody's reading going? The big question is, has Jenny managed to not get distracted or disturbed? Or has she had to employ the stick of doom? Just an hour ahead. I always get confused because of daylight saving time and because we always do things weird in the UK because we're awkward. Also, how Sue is Miss Lyman and Murder coming along? Is it as comfy a mystery as you expected? I've had a few shocking moments now in Mouse, which is not a great surprise considering what it's about, but there's been a couple of moments that have actually sent a few chills through me now. I've got about 80 pages left. So, yeah, this is a hard read. It's one of the rare ones that I kind of can understand why you might restrict its access in schools, but I don't actually agree. Not exactly, anyway. I think it's something that should actually be included for anyone who is studying World War II. But not being interrupted this time, but I've managed to read half of chapter 3. So what is actually... Has anyone been eviscerated yet? Do we know what this glory is? I have so many questions. Because Immortal Longing does, to me, kind of sounds a bit more like a romance. To be honest. It's still raining as well. I feel really sorry for Noah because I know right now he's messaged me a couple of times. I think he's going to be a bit damp when he eventually joins us. Bless his cotton socks. But, yeah, what time, Luna, do they deliver up to then over there? I presume, is it like, because normally here I think delivery time stops at 9 for Amazon, and let's just make everything wobble. From Amazon, supermarkets were a little bit different, but what time are you going to stay up till for you? Do they not have parcel tracking for what you've ordered? I'm curious because I ordered a book called Blood of the Roots by Ladarian Williams, which is not on UK general release. And yeah, I don't know when it's arriving. It was released about 2 weeks ago. It's still not been dispatched, and it's now alternative sellers only on Amazon. So I have a suspicion that is going to get cancelled. 15% in. It's got Halloween. Oh, I like Halloween's the best holiday for me. I mean, it's not as big here in the UK as it is in the US, but I love Halloween. I really do. It's now time to put. Told me I would get the package today. Why am I not surprised then? Nowhere to be seen so far. Hello, Dan. How are you doing today? How is everything? Are you enjoying our wonderful British weather? A good day today. A good day. You've got tracking with a map and it's still nowhere near you. That's not great. Counting the games, and the two main characters are currently having a conversation. They're cousins, so I can't see the romance being between them. Well, you never know sometimes. It was on its way yesterday too. What are they doing? Right, hang on. They're cousins, but they're not related. That doesn't make sense. Explain to me how that one works. Yeah, Dan, what, if anything, are you reading? Have you had a good... I presume you've been at work. Have you had a good day at work? I'm off work. I'm so happy. Noah's not here for me to rub it in, unfortunately. He has to suffer and go to work for the next few days. And I don't, because I'm not back in work until the 3rd or 4th. I'll have to read the book. Have you seen how many books I have? In fact, no, you won't have done. Because I've not done that video yet. That's one for Saturday. Because I actually have a 4-month reading plan. Yeah, that's the thing that I've decided to do. That was a great idea, thinking ahead. So again, anyone who wasn't on Noah's stream last night, Noah in particular is lucky. No, he's not. We're doing a smut month or a. You had lurgy and ended up in hospital. What? Don't be blaming that on me. I know you asked me if I could transmit it through the computer. I definitely did not give you a virus. It was not me. Hope you're doing. Hope you're feeling a bit better though. Yeah, we did smut again. Well, we're doing smut again, I should say. Now, I need to make this clear. I haven't done a smut month. I haven't done one. And it's not just going to be smut, it's going to be romance as well. So, yeah, that's a thing for September, which Noah sort of agreed to it, and now I've told everyone that he's agreed to it, and he can't back out of it. So, huzzah! Yeah, Halloween fascinates me. It's so much bigger over in the US that it's getting bigger here, slowly but surely. I do wonder how much of it is because I know we're over in the US, well, it looks like from the UK point of view over in the US, you have like all these housing associations, you have various rules to do with upkeep of gardens and yards and a certain level of, not so much competition, but Halloween's bigger here. Really? Yeah, I wonder how much that, because we don't talk to neighbours. I don't even know my neighbours' names, and I've lived here for like 4 years? 5 years. 4 years. I don't know. Everybody knows me, which is depressing, but... Oh, buddy, you make sure you're taking it easy. Okay. Especially because I know it's your birthday a week today, I think. 29th? If I remember correctly. So, you make sure you're taking it easy and not doing the sort of stupid stuff that I do, like working, or working excessively as I did last month. And I do have a 4-month plan. 1 month of that is a bit more ill-defined than the other 3. Because next month's Pride Month, so I've got a load of reads for Pride Month, which feels a bit redundant because LGBTQ plus is my biggest tag on my reading list so far this year anyway. Good for banned books, though. I'll get through a few banned books next month. Then we've got our horror month in July that me and Noah are doing. And September's going to be small. August is going to be a bit of a mop-up. I have some new releases coming. There's a Raymond E. Feist new series starting, which I'm very excited about. I've not read any Feist for years. But I absolutely love the Magician books that he did. So, yeah, I need to record that video, actually. I'll probably record that tomorrow before I go wandering out in the hope that it's not raining here in the UK, which is a pointless thing. Let's do somewhat late. Do you have any thoughts of what you might read for that? I really probably should do some readathons. Maybe that's something to look at for 2025, actually. Yeah, that might be a thing I need to do. I've never done a readathon. Then again, I don't do buddy reads very well, so. Ready the TV room for books. 27. I thought it was 29th. God knows where that's come from. Obviously, I just don't know. Oh no, that's payday. That's what I'll be thinking of. So it's the equivalent of a birthday for me. How? No, so I don't know the answer to this. How big is your Hugo pile? I know you've read a few already. How many books in total do you have to read before the Hugo Awards? Because you're going to Worldcon, is it Glasgow? In Scotland, isn't it? Aren't you? So how many books have you got left to read for that? And what books have you rated, Dan? As well. I am colour me curious. But yeah, I've got so much. I've read so much this year, which I'm shocked at how much I've got through this year. It's scary. So overall, though, as well, Luna, you Hugo reads have overall been generally pretty solid from your videos, other than one potentially notable exception in there. I've not read any of the Hugo books. I don't think. But yeah, what books have you got, Dan? Come on. What are we trying to read? Also, we need to get some of those David Gemmell books and throw them at Noah and get him into some proper fantasy, because I know my hair's sticking up at a weird angle. Oh, I don't like that. No. Damn it. Yeah, we need to get him to read some Gemmell books at some point. That's the wrong button, Neil. Don't scream. Shush. And I wasn't sure whether it was an idea just throwing Legend at him to start as well, just on a side point. But I'm going to try and stick to the 10 minutes of chat, because otherwise I will get horribly, horribly sidetracked very easily, like I did yesterday. So, we shall welcome the thunderstorm back. And are we all ready for another reading sprint? Do we need to get anything? I've drank so much water today. I'm going to be up and down all night. It's too much information, I know. Black box and a... that bloody heart. Right, come here. A Screw's autobiography? I presume that is not literally the autobiography of a screw that's in a bookcase. Screws. Hang on. Screw is slang. I'm sure you mean screws as in the slang meaning of screws. Hello, Noah. Oh, that's not doing too badly then. Do you have a You don't need to say what it is. Do you have a favourite so far? And hello, Noah. Welcome to the tech disaster that is me trying to do a reading stream. Sprint, even. He's probably had to swim to get back, because it's absolutely horrendous out there today. We've done our first bit. I've managed to get it so, although the words do seem to disappear too quickly, I might need to change that. It is bad outside. I believe it's going to be raining tomorrow as well, which makes me feel sad, because actually I am under instructions by my therapist to go out to a coffee shop and read. That is one of the things that I have been told I have got to do, because I didn't manage to do it between my last two appointments, to force me to acclimatise to people again, because I don't do people. I've go up for... I'll translate that. You know what? I've never sat in a coffee shop and read. You're going to shout at him, Noah. You are going to shout at him. Yeah, I've never... I need to wander around. Look, to be fair, I could just go up to the station, because there's a coffee shop there, and then just read there all day. Scroll up in the chat and you shall see. But yeah, I do need to do that at some point. But anyway, Noah, what are you reading today? I can't remember what you were reading yesterday, actually, to be honest. Are you still feeling the edges of a reading slump, nibbling at your corners? Out of curiosity. Also, we've just been discussing potentially... we've been discussing potentially... Well, I've been saying it, Dan, and he hasn't said yay or nay to me. Throwing a book at you to read. So, yeah. But we'll discuss that later. What are you reading? Well, I'll tell you what, you can type it into the chat, because otherwise I'm going to be talking for the next 4 hours. So, I'm going to start the next bit of the reading sprint. I hope you all have what you want. 57%? Boy, that's good for you. Enjoying it, then I take it. I saw someone else talk about Grady Hendrix today. Mild Rumpus was talking about Grady Hendrix today. Last Exorcist, something like that, I think, which sounds like a bit more for me. But yeah, we were discussing throwing a David Gemmell book at you, so expect concussion at some point. But anyway, I'm going to start the timer again, because I want to finish Mouse tonight. So, how do buttons work? That's the question. How do buttons work? They work like this. So, how is everyone's reading going? I can pause. Any sign of your parcel yet, Luna? First of all. Secondly, Jaleesa, has Direwood got any better? Because I'm curious. Dan still hasn't, I don't think, told me what he's reading, if he is doing, as well. But how's everyone's reading or meal prep in Witchy's case? Welcome, Witchy, as well. I don't know, Kathy Tully. I mean, it's an odd thing because you would expect that I would enjoy thrillers and mysteries, and I don't actually read them. It falls a bit weirdly like horror does for me a lot of the time. I like aspects of it within my books. But I don't like that to be the focus of the book. The last mystery/thriller thing that I read was The Only One Left by Riley Sager. And I had thoughts on that one. That was a book of twists for the sake of twists. Comedy Black Book. Hang on, I need to fetch up the thing where I can actually read the messages. So, who's the Comedy Black Book by? What's it about? I want all the answers. Noah, how goes your Grady Hendrix read as well? It's not. I'm sorry, it's not holding your attention too much. Is it just the story that's not gripping you? Oh, what have I just pressed? Is it the story that's not gripping you, Sue, or is it the writing, or is it just the overall package not quite? And hello, Noah. How are you? Just so you know, Noah, we've been discussing Spicy September, and the book that Sue was reading yesterday, Bees and Honey, it turned out to be smut. So you're reading that in September, just so you know, because I know how much you like the buzzy bees. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I see. Noah's more the mystery reader than me, actually. Bizarrely, it's not something that I read. It's not good though if you don't enjoy the right style. Although it does happen. The other book that I've got to read after Mouse, that's got a writing style that is a little bit too poetic, I suppose, floral maybe, for my taste. I wouldn't say it's overwritten, but it's leaning in that direction, and I do sometimes have some issues with that, for multiple reasons. Jenny, how goes Immortal Longings? Or have you been disturbed? Also, I've not set the timer. That's not very me of me. There we go. No, that's the wrong button. You know what? I wind my kids up and say that they're not as tech savvy as me, and then I do things like that. Honestly. Oh, dearie me. So, Mouse has now hit an even darker point somehow. Only about 40 pages from the end, and it's moved now from the journey from Auschwitz to oh, my brain's gone. I can't remember the name of the place they moved to, and the conditions within the trains that they transported them on. And you know what? I know we get taught about this sort of stuff, but this is getting across to an extent the whole visceral feel of it, and it's I do have that cold a little bit. I haven't quite managed to totally get rid of it, unfortunately. And my voice is a little bit more strained today because I've recorded 2 videos this morning, went straight into therapy, which was about an hour and 20 minutes of me doing a lot of talking to my therapist because I'm nearly at the end of my sessions now. But yeah, on the plus side, I do feel human by my standards because I don't normally feel overly human. But yeah, it won't go away. Hey, Kat, how are you doing? I'm assuming you're at work. I hope you're having a good day. Also, I will answer your question at some point over the top 10 video games. I might actually do a video for it, actually, and record a bit of background footage while I'm off. So, yeah. The only other thing I've got lots of, plastic carrier bags. As well, just a random thing linked to the video I did the other day. I have too many plastic carrier bags. What are you reading at the moment, Kat? What is grabbing your attention? I'm currently reading Mouse, which is a Holocaust survivor story, graphic novel, and it is very dark. It's also a banned book. And it's, yeah, I'm glad I'm in a better headspace while I'm reading this. I don't think I'd do very well reading this if my headspace was where it was a couple of months back, somehow. It's quite sad, as you'd expect. The sort of the father's, I think his name's Vladik's sort of personality is very much won't waste anything, won't throw anything away, constantly fixing stuff, won't throw any food away, and nothing's ever good enough for him from like his family and stuff, and he's pushed everyone away because he's almost got this survivor's guilt, for want of a better term. Oh, I don't know the other Witch series. I've not read much urban fantasy, bizarrely. I need to actually read a little bit more, I think. But I need some good... Although when I'm going to fit them in, God only knows. Right now, I have so many books. Are you enjoying it? I need to read the book that you made me buy the other day as well. You're not adding anything else to my TBR, Cat. I'm refusing. I'm not buying anything else. I've bought too many books this month already, which I'm not going to be doing a... What's the word I'm after? Haul video for. Not haul video. That's the wrong word for this one. Admission of guilt video. That's the word for the amount of books that I've bought recently. Which is a point. I added more stuff to my list earlier. Do I buy them now while they're cheap? That's a thought. Oh, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Oh, I think I've maxed out my Kindle Unlimited list. I love the fact that Noah is seen as the Chaos Gremlin and not me as well. I just need everyone to realise that he is not the chaotic one. It's just he gets all the blame. But what are you doing? I'm really hoping a good friend of mine drops into the chat in a minute as well, who I've not spoken to for a while. So, Kimberly, if you're there, come say hi. Say hi to everybody if you're currently lurking. Oh no, mine. Look, right. Fire is cleansing, not destructive. You get all the lame blame Jesus. Sounds like description of religion. No, right. First off, Jenny, we are not as bad as each other. I am considerably worse. First off, I admit this, and then people still blame Noah, which I find brilliant. Also, Noah, just to remind you, because I know you want me to remind you, I'm not back in work till the 3rd. So, I'm going to remind you every day. And tomorrow I'm going to, because I think you're in work tomorrow, I'm going to walk past and wave at you. Just so you know. But I mean, to be fair, Jenny, out of everyone in this chat, you have Have you not? Your brother will have known me a little bit longer, actually, but other than that, you have known me the longest. I remember when you were a wee babe. Many, many, many years ago. God, I'm so old. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to, He does. He tries to make out that he's a delicate flower and a wonderful person all the time, and it doesn't quite ring true. Whereas I just stand there and go, yeah, it was me. And everyone goes, no, it wasn't. It wasn't you at all. Everybody's on your side. It's just that you're a bit small to find to stand next to. So, you are a lovely person, delicate flower. I still remember the level of insult you felt when I found that actually in a book I was reading that you didn't like, and you DNF'd, and the level of insult that you faced was absolutely amazing. I just have to mention that because it amused me. Jenny, you're on nobody's side. We all know this. You split your side evenly, but that sounded wrong. Equally between Noah and I. So, see, Noah, everybody's on your side. So it's fine. I'm okay with that. The truth shall set you free and all that good stuff. Where's my wish list gone? Just remembered I added some stuff to my book's wish list earlier that was cheap. And I now cannot remember where I find a book wish list on. There we go. That's another book bought. Happy days. It's a good job I'm only buying 99p stuff in it. I mean, Noah would argue that you're on my side more often than his, to be honest. So the audiobook's not got any better, has it not, than Jaleesa? No. Is it still as riveting as it was before? You said it was a buddy read. How's your buddy reader finding it? Are they finding it more enjoyable? Out of curiosity. I've just bought another book as well because I have no impulse control whatsoever. That's what I was looking at, Kindle Unlimited, to see if I've actually maxed out my allowance. I have 20 titles borrowed on Kindle Unlimited at the moment. Interesting. Okay. I don't remember borrowing some of the... I need to read... I really do need to read Cowboy Necromancer at some point, just on a side point. I'm going to have to move that one up. All it shows as a current read. Fair enough. You see, it'll only let... The limit here is 20 that you can borrow at a time. Which I max out quite regularly, but right, I need to put this in a proper... What have I actually got? Right, no, let's go to current. Let's do it that way. Has that done it? Go away. Right, make you smaller, make you bigger. There we go. I'm getting it. So I've got a book which I want Noah to read, which I would not recommend anybody read, called Bathed in Golden Blood, which is a small book about clowns. That's one for later on in the year. So I had an argument with Libby today because I have been very nicely tagged by Sue in the library book tag, which I will be recording in the next couple of days. And the last time I looked at Libby for my local libraries, which is City of Salford Libraries, the selection is appalling for the local libraries here. And it feeds into an issue with UK libraries in general being systematically underfunded, shall we say, by the hopefully outgoing current government. I need to return that. I've read that. There we go. I have another book that I can read. What was that one called? No, you know what? We'll find other books. I've got other books I want to look at. So Yeah, I've not used Libby yet because, frankly, my own selection of books is better than what's available on there from the libraries in the UK. And I actually do want to talk a little bit about why that is at some point, but it's going to be a bit of time for me to really dig in because I'm going to reach out to a few librarians that I know here in the UK, one of which works at Manchester Central Library, who I've not spoken to for a while, to get a bit of information. But yeah, it's a shame because I'd love to use the libraries more. I'd like them to be open every day as well. That'd be nice. But I might do some filming this week, as I've already mentioned, for the libraries. But I waffled for a little bit. Let's do one more sprint now. That should get me to the end of Mouse. And I'm going to start collecting my thoughts on that one because I don't know how I'm going to review this one. Not without YouTube somehow managing to upset me in some way. Libby's a few books I want, but it's woefully underwhelming for the most part. I will have one book in a series or never have heard of the author I'm looking for. To go, yeah. Now, I looked at this. I did actually look at some of the additional options, and a lot of them seem to be... Oh, why is it not showing that there? Let me just... Why is it doing it that way? Why is it cut off your oh, God knows. Because someone mentioned it to me. I can't remember who it was. And you have to be you have to have a US address, I think it was. So I couldn't do it. Which is a shame for me anyway. Might be something that Kat could potentially look at. I find it really interesting that the Florida one has a good selection. That's almost shocking to me considering the general themes I've seen. Yeah, I need to have a faff about to see because there's some weird stuff with boundaries in the UK. Because technically I come under City of Salford, but this also comes under the Metropolitan Borough of Greater Manchester, so I might be able to get a Manchester one. I do need to look into that because I suspect there's going to be more options available through that. It is something I do want to look at some point. And it might actually stop me buying all the books, which is becoming a bit of a problem. But yeah, right. I'm going to hit the timer. No, I'm not going to hit the timer, apparently. I'm going to press all the wrong buttons. That can go away. We're not buying any more books now, Neil. We've already bought one while we were on stream. Let's not buy any more. I'm going to hit the timer, do another sprint. I might do one more after this to sort of kick into my next book as well. But has everybody got water and snacks? And I'd like to say healthy life choices, but I don't make them at any point. So I shouldn't be saying things like that. Why have I not my table? I need a new table as well. So we're going to jump into another sprint, and I will see you all at the other end. Okay, I don't know what Noah's done to break his stream. Probably what I do on a relatively regular basis. Because I accidentally seem to pause the stream when I'm doing other stuff and then have to fast forward to the current point. So, how's everyone's reading gone so far? First off. Also, Luna, I hope you're comfortable. Now you're ready for bed, and now you've finally got your package. Finally. Re-listen to the part I fell asleep to. We finally found the fact you fell asleep to that part is just ironic. That's weird. I don't know what. Maybe it's because I was doing something and managed to pause it. Mainly, I don't know. It's just complicated. I don't believe you. I have now finished Mouse. No, don't close it, you absolute twit. And how's your book going, Witchy? Is it going well? Only read 2 chapters, chatting with a. Has it got any better though, Sue? That's the question. You can read my review, Noah, over on Goodreads because it's already up. No, it's. So what I will say, I can understand. I've given it 5 stars. It's a really uncomfortable read, as it should be, and it does a really good job of driving home some of the horrors. You have a good night, honey. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Thank you for hanging with us. I'm so glad you've got your parcel as well, finally. You have a good night. So, it's not an easy read. So there is that. I think more than anything else that I've ever read, because I did history at college as well, and specifically around the World Wars, and I would have done it at university. It really does a good job of not just showing some of the horrors that went on during the war, but also the long-term effects on Vladek, who is the character who went through the Holocaust and survived, and the effects that it had on him as a person, and also the people around him, like his son growing up, and the sort of forced dissonance in some of those relationships. That's really, really heartbreaking. And also the fact that actually some of those horrors did not stop at the end of the war. It carried on in other countries with other people as well, continuing just some of the wholesale murder, which is not something that gets talked about as much. I think anyone who studies World War II, I think they should read this, like in high school in particular, because it does a really good job of driving home how horrific it was, which even things like the Diary of Anne Frank, which is, again, horrific, what it covers, this actually hits for me harder, possibly because it's the graphic novel, because it does have that visual medium to it. So, I'll talk about it a bit more when I do my review for next week. Has it got better, Sue? That's what I would like to know. Has the writing improved, or is it still a bit meh? Oh, I'm glad that it's going well and that you're curious about the ending. Have you got any theories about where the ending is going? Or any thoughts about where you really don't want it to go? And doing good, Jenny. Chapter. That's assuming it's not 2-page chapters like in The Troop, which I will continuously bag on. I can get made smaller. Oh no, that's fine. How is it going so far, Jenny? Are they actually into the sort of competition? A 3-star. I mean, that's not terrible. To be fair, I just tend not. It's very rare for me to 3-star anything actually, but that's because I tend to pick up books that I know I like. So I suppose actually, if you give something a 3-star with something that you've picked up, actually, it's probably worse than it would be if it was something you were given. Oh, well, that's... You're hoping it's a happy one. That doesn't suggest that you're expecting it to be one, though. Also, Jaleesa, I need to ask about the flesh-eating caterpillars again. From the book. Have we figured out what they are yet? Yeah, even books that I don't like, I don't give it under a 3 very often. It has to be spectacular. Or, in the case of one book, something that I think is actively harmful, which was a smut book, which I will not talk about ever again. Because I did not understand what was going on. Well, I did understand. It was abhorrent. It's good that it's keeping you. I didn't set my. Did I set my timer off? I didn't set my timer off. Oh well. I'll get used to this. Oh, you're one of the heretics, are you, Jenny? You're a short chapter person. I hate short chapters in books. I know this puts me at a minority, but I really... When I read Dragon Rider recently, the average page length in that is 5.5 pages. There is no reason for a book to have 106 chapters. Just saying. Or something like that. Might have been a bit less than 100. It was 100 and something. I better rephrase this. I don't mind short chapters if it makes sense that they're short chapters. I like... Because I read a lot of fantasy, they tend to be longer to let the scene breathe. And because that's what I've always read. And also I read Discworld, which has no chapters, which baffled me when I started reading it the first time. But I think that sort of trained my reading a little bit to be ready for longer chapters. So when I hit a chapter end, it feels like a full break. And if the scene feels like it's not played out and then continues on the next chapter, it leaves me sat there thinking, why? That was my biggest problem with The Troop, ironically enough. The chapter length and the... I need to reread that, actually, probably, and see if I'm being unfair to it, because I might be. To be fair. It's good that it's keeping you guessing which way it's going to go, though. That's actually... Because normally, it's most books kind of, when you're reading through, they kind of signpost direction it's going to go. The tournaments... So, 4 chapters, how many pages is that about? Out of curiosity. Because to get to the actual tournament in 4 chapters is a lot quicker than a lot of books seem to manage to do it a lot of the time. I know when I read... it's bad that I can't remember what it's called. What is it called? I even see it. Whatever the vampire book was that I read. Revenant Games. Recently. That took about a third of the book to get to the actual games themselves, if not a little bit longer. I didn't notice it in Fourth Wing. What I will say about Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, I know Sue's read Fourth Wing recently as well, actually. There's a tendency in those books for every chapter kind of ends on a dramatic point, and if I was reading it, I think I'd find it exhausting. It did help that I audiobooked it, and the narrator for it, whose name currently escapes me, and it's going to annoy me, so I'm going to have to look that up, does an amazing job at actually conveying the dramatic moments over. Also, a side point on Fourth Wing, there is an example at the end of the book where you have the battle scene, which I think is quite well done. And that isn't split up. And I think the narration is an hour for that chapter. And it worked really well, really well, in a way that allows the scene to fully breathe and flesh out and expand. How far have you got in Iron Flame, actually? Because we've not spoken about this for a while. Because I need to talk to people about this book, because I like Iron Flame quite a bit more than Fourth Wing once you get past the romance nonsense at the beginning. The timer has stopped. I wonder why. Why has it stopped? What is it doing? Have I just got too many tabs open? Is that what it is? See, on my thing, it's saying 5:47. No idea. On mine, it says it's perfectly fine. So, heaven knows what's going on with it. Has it jumped forward? By any chance, now that I've said that? I don't understand what it's doing. Yeah, mine is saying 5. Strange. Who knows? I bet it's... Oh, actually, hang on. Hang on a minute. Do it that way. I don't know. About 5 minutes of chat left. I'm probably going to do chapter 33. Is that about halfway through? Because it's at this point, if it's about halfway, it's from this point forward, it turns into what I would class as proper fantasy. Sort of fantasy that I like quite a bit, actually. I'm going to do one more sprint for the night and then call it there as well. See how far I can get in my next book. So the next one that I am doing... oh, no. Go to... No, not that. There we go. So the one I am reading next is... Oh, I've already started reading. I started reading it on Noah's last night. Is Siege of Burning Grass, which is also... talks about war, and is not going to be a particularly straightforward read. It seems to be following somebody who is a prisoner of war, who has been the subject of medical experiments, and is being sent back to their own people to act as a spy / assassin to try and go, or diplomat maybe, to try and cause a peace. Not too far in, I'm only 10% of the way into it so far. The premise is really interesting. The writing style on this one is leaving me a bit cold. Simply because of how floral it is. And I've read quite a few of Premier Mohammed stuff, and I find it really interesting that they don't feel like they've got a set writing style, because I read Butcher of the Forest earlier this year, which is maybe my favourite read of the year so far. Maybe. I have to think on that. It was hit that sort of folklore sort of thing, which I really like anyway. But also know, if you're there, how is your reading going? If it is reading indeed that you are doing, or have you got distracted and wandered off again out of curiosity? It's probably trying to get dry, to be fair, after being out in that nonsense earlier. That can go away. That can also go away. Don't need to see that. But Jaleesa, I need to know about the caterpillars. Tell me about the blood-eating caterpillars. Yeah, actually, Jenny, because you're localish to me. The little free pop-up library things, the little libraries, whatever the name is of them, is there any near where we live? I know I went on, there's an app you can get which tracks them, little free libraries, that's the word I'm after, and I couldn't find any locally. And I'm wondering if you actually know of any somewhere local-ish as well. Just on a complete segue to something very random that's not remotely connected to anything. Because I know Sue's building like a little free library in the front yard, which I think is amazing. And if there was more of them around here, it's something that I would potentially look at. Maybe, well, I wouldn't, because I'm not handy at all. But we don't really have anything around here, and there's nothing on the app. The local, maybe one in Charlton, maybe. I wonder if it's a thing that just hasn't quite cottoned on yet here in the UK. That's a thought. I'm going to switch the timer over because I've spoken for more than 10 minutes anyway. Let's make that smaller. Let's reset it. Let's make that bigger. Right, let's see if it behaves this time. So, one last sprint, and then we're going to call it a night. So, I'm going to carry on with Siege of Burning Grass. I hope you all have your water. So that is exactly what it is, but I don't know of any around where we are. And I'm wondering if you know of any near where you are, because you're only a few miles up the road, really. Or it feels like it's something that's not really cottoned on over here yet. I'm just vaguely curious. Anyway, I am going to press that button. I'm going to press that button. And I'm going to start the last sprint for the evening. I hope you all have snacks and water. And I'll talk to you all for the last time in half an hour. Okie dokie then. So there is, if I'm not mistaken, which I could be, there is a. Why is that still making noise? Go away. There is a Little Free Libraries app, and when I went on that last, there was nothing nearby. Now, whether there's other ones, I'll actually go on the website and have a proper look and see if I can find one. So I have gone very low down in my chair. So for the last sprint, how has everybody's reading gone? I am somewhat baffled by what I'm reading right now. I can't tell if the characters I'm reading about are human or not. I don't think they are. It's curious to me, to put it mildly. Although there was a very, very interesting passage talking about survival of the fittest. 75's good going. You've nearly finished. Wow, that is... I mean, you must be enjoying it, because that's actually really, really good, because you only started the book yesterday. Good that you think that you were right. I bet you're not, though. I bet there's a twist in the tale. So, is it still sitting at a 3-star, Sue, or... I told you, I said it, didn't I? End of every chapter is a cliffhanger, and that is exhausting to read, unfortunately. It's my biggest criticism of the books, because it's... Part of it's probably because it's designed for a younger audience than me, you know. I am in my 40s now. But it is designed for that dopamine hit, not too dissimilar to how social media shorts are now. Oh, that's a shame. It's a shame that it's not as good as you want it to be. I can't remember what happens in chapter 33. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to think. It's been a while since I listened to it. But yeah, there was a really interesting quote in this one. Because I don't take notes generally, but I do take photos of quotes if it's on my Kindle. And let's see if we can find it. First of all, they have light spiders, which I absolutely love. So one of the little bit of world buildings it's got in this book is it feels like technology is quite organic, rather than more mechanical. And the idea is that you actually have people that train these little spiders. And it was talking about war and how war is like a spider, how it spends ages not moving, and then you take your eyes off it for a second, then it skitters away. Faster than you realise, which I found a really interesting kind of analogy. But also it was talking about survival of the fittest, and it says fittest didn't mean the most fit, it meant the one who best fit into the tortured shape the world made around them. And I found that a really interesting thought, actually. The people who survive are the ones that fit the new shape the best. Curious thought. You stayed awake this time. That's good. Okay, you know where they're coming from, but not how they got there. I have disturbing questions and ideas about what that might be. Are they baby vampires? I just want to know if they're baby vampires at this point. Just for me, I'm not going to read the book to find out, but I am vaguely curious. So why do you regret reading chapter 33 because you want to know what happened next, or is it because of something that happened in chapter 33? Just out of curiosity. Also, talk about chapter length. So I am currently, I think I read 36 pages ish in that sprint. I'm going on percentages, so it's a bit hard to judge. But I'm 20% of the way in now, which would be about 70, 75 pages. And I'm only on chapter 2. I've not finished chapter 2 yet. These are very long chapters in this one. She was underneath the church the entire time, caged up. Being eaten by caterpillars? No, you'll read the next chapter, and then you'll read the next chapter, and then you'll read the next chapter. And halfway, when does it really hit the fan? I'm trying to be careful what I say because I know Noah's not read it yet. I'm trying to figure out exactly where you are in the story. Sister is a vampire and human eating monsters. Oh, that's a twist. That sounds interesting. Are you enjoying it more though now? Now the action's happening as it got better. She's breeding the cat. First off, ew. Second off, how? And third off, that is truly horrifying. And I'm taking that idea for a D&D game at some point. So, Noah, be warned, you're going to be attacked by freshly birthed, flesh-eating caterpillars in a D&D game at some point soon. But, anyway, it's bedtime for me because I clearly need my beauty sleep. So I'm going to go now. But thank you all for chilling with me. This is the first time I've actually done a reading sprint on my own and not just hijack Noah's. I was eating and got nauseous, yes, and now it's action. I'm into it. It's a shame that it took 86% of the way. Yeah, that's... Depends if the payoff ends up being worth it. That's the only thing that I will say. Sometimes, if the payoff is good enough, well, then it does hit the argument of... It's like a video game argument, bizarrely, that I see with certain games. Like, it gets good after 15 hours, but why should you have to wait 15 hours for something to get good? It's that argument. It should be good all the way along. But, anyway, that being said, thank you, everyone, for chilling with me. I hope you've had a good time. Very, very mixed selection of books between a lot of us, it has to be said, which I absolutely love. But I will do this again at some point while I'm off. I don't know when, probably in about a week's time. Thank you for chilling with me. I hope you all have a really good rest of your day or evening. Stay safe. Enjoy your reading. I will catch you all very, very, very soon. Good night, everybody.